Hey, what's going on, boss?
Hey man, what's going on, big dog?
Yeah, you just had that exam today. How'd you do? Yeah, I mean, I wanted an A, but I ended up getting a B again on my third exam. But my average is an 87. Man, I thought you said you wanted an A. You got a B? Man, this is your first semester, your first class, and you already can't meet expectations? I don't know if you're gonna be able to cut it, but hey, it's your life, not mine. Dang, for real? Hey, what's going on, boss?
Hey man, what's going on, big dog?
Yeah, you just had that exam today. How'd you do? Yeah, I mean, I wanted an A, but I ended up getting a B again on my third exam. But my average is an 87. You got a B? I mean, you wanted an A, but a B's still good, and your average is still a B? That means you got one more exam to crush it so you can still get an A. I still believe in you, man. You can do it, man.
You know what? You're right. What's up, everybody? It's your boy King K Show, and Sigmatically speaking, we're here for another drive. So hop on in and enjoy the ride. Now, today, what are we talking about? I got an acronym. What is your Nac? Now, if you saw the little role playing that I did in the beginning of the video, obviously I incorporated what's going on currently. Next week, another week down in the books for my schooling. If you haven't watched any of the other two videos, you can go back and watch them. But basically, we're doing a week-to-week update on my journey to getting a electrical engineering degree, being a father, being a worker, being all that wrapped into one. And I just wanted to share my events and share my journey with everybody, so that if anybody is encouraged or wants to be encouraged to maybe want to do what I'm doing at 40 or at an older age, and you don't got to do it alone, you can do it with me. But while we do this, so you saw that I got a B on my third exam. There's only one more exam left. I think my average is around an 89, so I need like a 90, a 91 to complete an A in this class. As long as I keep doing the homework assignments and all the other stuff, which is pretty easy. We're pretty much got everything in the bag. So I'm gonna believe in the exam that we're gonna finish it hard. Pause. But you saw the two scenarios. The two scenarios brings me into the subject of what I wanted to talk about today. What is your Nac? Now, probably looking at me like, yo, that's not how you spell Nac. I know it's an acronym, and just go with me. Like I said, hop in the passenger seat on this drive and enjoy the ride. So, 3 words. A couple situations have occurred. Now I'm in chemistry class. If you look at the background, we're learning about electrons, we're learning about protons, we're learning about neutrons, we're learning about negativity, we're learning about positivity, we're learning about repulsion, connection, all that crapped up together. And like my dad, you can find a lesson in just about everything you do, see, learn, and experience in a day. So what I thought about, there are 3 components I think that everybody has, or everybody experiences in day-to-day in dealing with each other, and in how you behave or react to other people. And if you can get to a point where you understand and having like an actual live what's the word? I don't have the word exactly, but be able to interpret in real time where you're at and how you're speaking, or the people that are talking to you, how people are speaking to you, just in your environment in general. I believe that half of the time, or not 99% of the time, being self-aware, being aware of your surroundings is probably one of the most safest things you could do to help you be successful in life and to prolong your life. So what are these three things that I've broken down and made into acronyms that spell out the word Nac? It's neutralizing, amplifying, and compressing. Now, depending on how far this video goes and how long it is, and if I'm able to dive into the subject, I may make this into a part 2, part 3, part 4, because this can get as deep as you want it to be. So I think everybody starts out in a relatively cool and happy, I would say as their regular Jeremiah, my name is Jeremiah. Go back in case of Mr. Stigmatic. But most people that know me know my name is Jeremiah. I have a regular Jeremiah. How I interact with people and how people interact with me gives me a better understanding of the relationship that I have with that person, that relationship that person necessarily has with me. And then it also is like a barometer. It's a way to check how I am and where my maturity is and where I need to be moving forward. So if you look at these definitions, like I said, go on this ride with me. The first word is neutralize. So when you saw me do the skit, I come through the door. The guy asked me what's going on in the first scenario. I tell him that I gotta be on my test. First thing he does is compress the fact that I didn't get a failing grade, but he pointed out that I didn't get an A. He amplified the fact that, and he amplified those worries that I had about possibly not being able to finish college, and he compressed the idea of the future that I see and what I'm doing. I think those three components, and if after I describe it, you'll be able to see if you're experiencing that very thing when you talk to people, or when you talk to people in life on a day-to-day basis, where you'll be able to understand, like, if people really are necessarily have their best interest for you. And they may be doing it consciously and subconsciously, but you'll also see if you have your best interest for someone else or for other people, because you can literally watch yourself do things in like a knee-jerk reaction, and how you talk to people when they bring you positive stuff and when they bring you negative stuff. So there's different ways to operate in this NAC. So the definition for neutralize, obviously, is to make neutral. But the basis of it is to counteract the activity or the effect of, to make ineffective. So there's just like there's positive and negative, like in my chemistry class with electrons and protons, there's two sides to neutralize. So you got one instance where if somebody brings something positive to you, I know you've experienced this. You talk to either friends or you talk to people that necessarily don't have your best interests at heart. When you bring something positive to them, they neutralize that comment. Like if you got a raise at your job, the first thing that they say is, "Well, it was only $2. I got a $2 raise." You go to somebody, "Hey, I just got a $2 raise." The first person's comment is not congratulations. Oh, that's what's up. The comment is, "Oh, it's only $2. Oh shoot. I mean, if I were you, I would complain and went for $4. Why you ain't ask for more?" Like it's the way to neutralize something positive and to almost, in a way, tear down the energy of that person. If you saw that on my thumbnail, I believe that we're balls of energy. And what we do and what we accept into our body, into our soul, into our mind, either replenishes our battery or it depletes our battery. And then who you surround yourself with then determines the mindset that you walk in from day to day, minute to minute, hour to hour. So say if you walk into a room and you're super excited, and I know this probably happened to you before in a scenario, you're super excited about something that happened, you're over hype. You walk into a room, and then walking into the room of people who necessarily don't have the same excitement that you have, you walk out of that room like, I guess that accomplishment really wasn't what I thought it was. You got neutralized. But you got neutralized in a negative way. Now, fast forward, go to the scenario 2. You can neutralize in the same exact way. And this is the difference between the type of people that you're dealing with and the type of mindset that you might be in. You'll be able to know, oh man, I'm not operating in the right mindset right now. I walk in, $2. Oh snap, that's great. Bro, you're gonna be making $80 more a week just on your 40-hour work week. And then when you hit overtime, oh man, you're gonna be killing it. In that instance, we're talking about amplification. But to stay on neutralizing, let's go back and say I walked in and I said something negative like, oh man, I only got a $2 raise. that person then hits you with that same thing, like, oh man, $2, what you mean? That's $8. That's 40 hours, that's $80. Over a year, that's an extra $4,000. You know what you could do with $4,000? I neutralized your negative mindset and made it ineffective, so that what was negative was once positive. And then in that instance, you can see, oh, if you're the person coming in with the news, that person talking to you, that person, he or she has your best interest at heart. He or she is trying to make sure that you walk in a positive mindset. He or she is trying to recharge you, so to speak, so that when you walk out of that room, you walk more than, not necessarily less than. And I know there's a lot of relationships that we can all think of and go back to and harp on, where it seems like we're being drained. And it may be consciously and subconsciously, the person may not know it, or sometimes the person may know it. But the craziest definition of neutral is to kill and destroy, which is crazy. But in neutralizing, I'm almost stopping your success. If positive news comes in, and the person that you're around, or if you may be that person and may not even know it, if you come and seem to neutralize a positive vibe, a positive energy, there may be something to that. There may be something that you may need to address or look at and be like, yo, I need to get better at that, because that's crazy. That person came in happy and he left sad after talking to me. Now, there's another area where you put things in perspective, where somebody is like, maybe the person is too excited. I'm ready to bet all my 401k on the lottery tomorrow. I just feel so good. And you enlighten them and give them and you kind of bring them down. That's not what I'm talking about today. Neutralizing is positive aspects. Somebody comes in with something negative and you neutralize that thought process. You're neutralizing the imagination of that person who's thinking negatively, so that they walk away thinking positively. And those people, and it may be you too, in the opposite situation, you may be a negative neutralizer, where somebody comes in positive with great news and somehow you dwindle it down and you stop them from having their moment. That may or may not be something that you want to address. But as for me, my dad always called me a breath of fresh air. I like to positively neutralize negative imaginations, negative fears. And I like to I like to come against anything negative. So, yeah, right. So in positive situations, we're going to go into the next definition. But for a positive guy, a person who is on the up and up, a person who's trying to mature, a person who's aware of his surroundings, the only neutralizing that you kind of want to do is neutralizing somebody's negative thoughts, negative fears, negative mindsets, where they're almost beating themselves up. You ever heard this slogan? They're their worst enemy. You don't want to do that. So for a positive person, you neutralize negative thoughts. And for a negative person, you have or not negative person, let's say a person who may not be privy to this information, you find a way in conversations to dwindle somebody's energy down when they're coming in with positive news or a positive mindset or just hope or belief in something. You just snatch that away. You're taking the energy from that person, whether you know it or not. So let's take the positive and negative of the next word. So the first word is neutralize. Second word, A, amplify. So if I'm a positive person, if I'm a mature person, if I'm aware of my surroundings, if I know that my words carry power, my words have meaning, when somebody comes to me with that positive situation, like I said in the second scenario, the guy, he didn't neutralize any positive thoughts with negativity. He only amplified the fact that I gotta be. And then he went on to almost talk into existence the possibility of getting the A and still accomplishing my goal at the same time. There was no negativity in the second scenario. There was no reason to add fear of something when the only thing for that scenario was to do was just hope for the best. So what kind of amplifier are you? Because amplifying, if you look at the definition, it's only to expand, to make larger or greater, intensify. So there's a positive amplifier and there's a negative amplifier. What type of amplifier are you? Are you that person that when somebody has bad news, you stretch that bad news, you dwell on that bad news, you make that bad news bigger than what it may actually what it actually is? Do you find yourself saying, oh, but what about this? And if you get this, then you know this could happen. And then what's this around the next corner if this happens? It's almost like a delight that people that may be privy to and may not be privy to have in elongating negative issues, negative mindsets, and negative occurrences. So what type of person are you? What's your knack? What type of neutralizer are you? Do you take positivity and you smash it down, or are you one of those people that's self-aware and when you hear negative things, you neutralize it? You make it non-existent. You almost kill and destroy anything negative about somebody that you care about or people that you just come in contact with. Because there's a certain level where you neutralize. There's certain levels where you neutralize even the strangers. And I've tried to dive into that to where whoever I come in contact with, whether I love you or not, whether we have a relationship or not, I find myself wanting to neutralize any negativity I hear in my ear because I want my entire environment to change. And that's kind of what happens when you embrace this understanding of the knack, to where wherever you go, your environment doesn't change you change your environment. Because when you're not aware, when you're ignorant to how powerful your energy actually is and how you need to protect it and how you need to speak those things into existence wherever you go. What they say, it's almost like they diluted the whole aspect. Fake it till you make it. It's just hoping and believing until the day it actually does come. So strive on being a positive amplifier. You're only intensifying and making greater positive things instead of being a negative amplifier where you take somebody's thoughts or you take somebody's occurrences and you make that even bigger than what it is, and you make that person worry, imagine if you're having a problem understanding what I'm saying, if you find yourself that when somebody leaves you, they're worried about more things than they did when they first came with you, you might be a negative amplifier. I'm just saying, you just might be a negative amplifier. So we got neutralize, we got amplify, and the last word, compress. And compress means to just reduce in size, quantity, or volume. And what do I mean by that? So I got into I didn't even get into a car accident. Somebody hit my car while I was working. Story time. They hit my car while I was working. I come out, my car is wrecked. I'm operating in my positive knack. I'm like, all right, thank God I wasn't in the car. Because if I was in the car, I could have gotten hurt, or even worse, I could have died. I'm neutralizing what just happened. I'm compressing the idea that I lost my car. Now there are people around me like, oh my God, that's crazy. You lost your car. I know you was mad when you came outside. Nah, I was actually happy. Like, I didn't really want the car. It was kind of an older car anyway. I needed a new car. It was kind of a blessing in disguise. It was like, I don't really know how to operate in negativity. My dad said, you shouldn't, and my mom as well. I always say my dad, but when I say my dad, I'm talking about my dad and my mom. Because my dad and mom was one unit. So I'm giving credit to my mom just as much as when I say my dad. It's just that my dad is passed. And I like to give as much credit to my dad whenever I can. So know that when I'm talking about my dad, I'm also including my mom because they both taught me very well. My dad said, why should you spend your time dwelling on the problem? The problem is the problem. It's already here. It's showed up. It's here. You should be spending all your time and energy on the solution. So problem isn't going to change itself. The only thing that you have the power to change is the solution. And how fast you answer the problem, or how fast you let the solution fix the problem, is all based on you. So when you compress, you want to compress negative occurrences. So you can't really neutralize. So the difference between neutralize and compress, because they could be deemed to be a little similar. You neutralize thoughts, fears, things that haven't happened yet. The things that somebody might be trying to create or come into existence. Compressing means that it's physically here. So there's something that has already happened. Like, I lost my car was totaled. You can't really neutralize your car being totaled because it happened. You can't destroy the act. The act has occurred. You can compress the act and put it in the grander scheme of things. And with these 3 words, I think you kind of can now, after this video, walk out in the daily life and be like, and watch how people talk to other people and how people talk to you and be like, oh, he's a negative neutralizer. Oh, you know what? That person has positive neutralizing capability. He is definitely a positive amplifier. He or she is a negative amplifier. You know what? I like the way he compresses bad situations. And you know what? That person, he compresses, like I said, there's a positive and a negative. That person, so compressing means, just like I said, the actual act, something you can see, it's occurred, which can be sometimes confused with neutralizing. A negative compressor squashes positive acts. Like, if let's say the day I actually graduate and get my electrical engineering degree, I know there's going to be somebody in my ears like, what you going to do with your degree at 45 or 44 or 43? Man, that took you a long time to get your degree. Hey, but I got it. So it's all energy, man. It's all connected to your energy. And when you know people's knack, when you know the behavior of the people that you're surrounded by, you'll then know based on your energy level. And if you saw my thumbnail, I'll put a battery symbol of an energy that's halfway full. There are some days where you can stomach and handle negative knackers because your energy is full. But being self-aware and being able to, almost like that deer when he's out in the wilderness, where it's like the trees are rustling a little too smoothly. There might be danger afoot. You immediately become alert. The ears get raised, almost like a gazelle, and at the first sign of movement, they're ready to sprint off because they're trying to protect their life. Your life is your energy. I do my best to try to protect my energy as much as possible. You can take this, what I'm talking about, and then you can apply this to being a leader, to being a father, to being a husband, to being to just how I'm supposed to just protect my family and my children. I protect my energy and try to keep it as positive as possible, because I know there's going to be situations where I'm going to have to give my energy, because there's people that are believing in me, that I am leading, and I have to always make sure that my energy is as full as possible, so that when my wife or my kids run into danger, they come home having a bad day, I have the energy to refill them, or I have energy to share with them. And I do it willingly. I might even take this subject and then take it into relationships. I think so. Today we're just breaking down the definitions. We might then, I'm not going to divvy into being a father and then with my energy and knack and how I use it on a day-to-day basis. So today we're just going to describe what a knack actually is. What's your knack? Do a self-evaluation of yourself. After you read this video, watch how you talk and watch how people talk to you when certain events come about. Watch how when you could be strolling around and having just a regular day, there's no reason for anybody to bring any negativity to you, and then out of nowhere, somebody just drops a bomb on your lap that may or may not have something to do with you. Because that might be another subject, because there's some situations where if you're a positive type of person, you're just naturally positive, like chemistry, there's an attraction for negativity to be around you, so that energy can even out. And when you walk away from a situation where a person who's full of negativity and a person who's full of positivity, that positivity walks away a little less in energy. And that electron or that person who's all negativity, he walks away feeling better. He may not feel great, but he feels better than he did before dealing with you. And that person who's positive feels a whole lot worse than he was when he first dealt with that person. So back to my YouTube image, because I've been using this website. What's your knack, man? Do a self-evaluation. Self-evaluate what your knack is, and then self-evaluate what type of people should be around you and for how long. Because then when you start maturing and realizing that I shouldn't say that, I shouldn't do that now, that's not the right time to put that on this person, you'll start understanding how positive your energy stays. And I'm just a firm believer that like I said, I have a church background, biblical background. So a man thinketh, so is he. If you're thinking positive and you're moving positive, you're operating in positivity, I just have always had positivity follow me. Even when in situations where I don't know what's coming up next, or I don't really have a plan, I always stay in a positive mindset, and somehow, some way, good news comes afoot. But watch, when you in a negative mindset and you think negatively and you move negatively and you don't see any hope and you're constantly worried by fear, all of that stuff that you're dreaming about and conjuring up, that stuff comes and it does visit you. But first part, if this is a part one, let me know in any of the social media comments. If this is something that should be delved into, if you think it should be dived into a greater degree, let me know. And if it needs to be dived into, tell me in what direction should I take it, because I'm digging these videos. I'm liking talking. I'll tell you why, another reason why I enjoy doing this, but that's for another time, another story, another video. Appreciate everybody for coming and staying. Might be a little longer than usual. I think this might be 30 minutes, but I hope you enjoyed what I had to say. Feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. Next week is the final exam, so we'll know if I succeeded in flying colors on the final exam. But even if I don't, man, hey, I'm not gonna compress the the act of still getting a B on chemistry, which was one of my hardest subjects when I was in school. And I'm only gonna amplify a passing grade and moving on to bigger and greater things. Thank you for your time. It's your boy King K, so Mr. Sigmatic. Peace.